forgive me if I butcher your name, sir. New Hampshire, a populist uprising. And what we're really going to look at with that, by the way, here. Thank you, New Hampshire. This is from Aniko Nolan. This is a combo image. The original picture, the beautiful scenery of the tree in the snow is a picture taken by Janine up in Rhode Island, the snow somewhere near her house. And then Aniko Nolan, reporter from Arizona, who brought us the footage, the exclusive footage yesterday of all of those Latino and African-American minority individuals endorsing Bernie Sanders, that mythical group that doesn't exist, all this non-support that Bernie supposedly has. So many articles have come out in the last week about how mainstream media's attempt to say that there is no African-American or Latino support for Bernie Sanders is just bullshit. And if those individuals remember the 90s with the Clinton family, should not be hard for them to decide who they should be voting for. This is a true case of establishment media attempting to create a division where one does not exist. Okay, it's really a true case. But thank you, New Hampshire. Thank you for kicking ass yesterday. This came in from the campaign. How many of you saw this? This is fantastic. This gift. And this was an email they sent us. I told you guys yesterday when Bernie said, donate. And that's one of the few times, I don't know about you guys, that's one of the few times I've heard him blatantly say, please go to my website and give me some money. Right? He's never really come out and just said that. Right? It's like, go to my website, BernieSanders.com, look here, look there. But he's never been like, and please give me money now.
I thought he was channeling Jerry Brown for a minute there, when Jerry Brown used to give his 800 number every chance he got on TV.
Seriously? You really think it was that salesy of him compared to the Bernie we're used to?
Oh no, it's just that was Jerry Brown's way to raise money during the campaign was.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Number, yeah.
Hey Celeste, put you on screen. Hope you wanted to be there. If not, we can take you away. Sorry. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Now, I was over in Slack. I was looking at a meme that was just dropped in, of course, reading the comments, because that's what I do, is I read a lot throughout things. But while I have a chance, just so that y'all bring this up, I'm sure you're probably going to discuss it, but really talk about superdelegates and how the superdelegate situation works. There's been a lot of that going on in chat, trying to get a grasp on what happens to the superdelegates. Are they really committed to Hillary, etc.? And then for SimCat, and I'm right there with you, I've seen this before, I suggest everybody go and sign this petition. It is StopGreatLakesNuclearDump.com. It's a petition to make sure that nuclear waste is not dumped in the rivers and the streams in the Great Lakes. So, thanks, John.
Sure.
Oh, now look, you're not ready to pop me off. I should.
I am. No, I was.
A little thumbnail.
I totally was ready. I was actually looking for your radiation article so we can talk about the ridiculous amount of radiation. And it's cool. We'll move on from that. But the EPA. Our corrupt courts just put a kibosh on Obama's energy plan or green plan or whatever the hell it is. We got that to talk about. The fact that we even have to do what Celeste is talking about. Go read this so that we can stop them from putting radiation in the Great Lakes. I don't even know why we should have to do that. It's really sad. It's really sad. But thank you for that. Here, folks. This is really where it's at. Yeah, Bernie broke Act Blue last night very quickly, and this is probably why. It's just been a catastrophic failure after another for Hillary Clinton, because the truth, as Darcy so well pointed out, as everybody on the internet continues to point out, as mainstream media continues to ignore, that can't possibly be the truth on the internet. That's that place with cats and bacon. I know. This is where the American people have done the work. We've done the research that journalists don't do or don't want to do or are afraid of doing. the mainstream media establishment journalist. He broke Act Blue. The last statement I said in here from somebody was in here, I don't know, maybe it was Andrew Saturn, said, what was it? $500,000, 500,000 donations before it broke. I think that's what they said, which means we're probably over the 4.7 million individual donations from a million individuals.
That's what.
Wow. Think about that. Okay, that's massive. So I don't even know what kind of I don't even know how does that compare to like a Clinton number. Do they even have a number for how many people? 10, 20, 30? What I don't know. But think about that, folks. That's only, I want to put it in a different perspective. That's only 1 million of us. And I don't know what fraction of voters actually donate to a campaign, but 1 million, do you know, Scott?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have no idea, so I can't really make judgments or guess there one way or the other. But anybody in the audience have any idea of that? The Act Blue is still processing catsandbacon.net. Can you clarify whether or not there's a debate tomorrow? Good question. I don't know. Is there a debate tomorrow, guys?
Tomorrow, I'll be there.
There we go.
Ryan will be there.
Ryan will be there. So is this the one we've been working so hard to get an entrance to, or is this something else entirely?
Yeah, that's Milwaukee. I did get credentialed for the spin room, and Ryan hasn't heard anything. We're just going to go there early and see if we can get him in.
Okay, and this is the PBS broadcast that we're hoping we can just carry.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Yeah. So this is really cool, folks. We have Scott that's going to be there. Ryan's going to be there. Oh man, I don't have Bruce Worley's going. Shit. Bruce Worley. Scott's going to be there. Ryan's going to be there. We should have an actual stream. I'd say should, maybe, I don't know. 50-50 chance, folks, which is better than normal, of having a stream from PBS that we'll be able to carry. So we're able to watch this debate together. Won't that be fun? And, watch it through here. But, yeah, so that's awesome. That's awesome. Look at HRC says 700,000 individual donors or donations. That's a different thing. Individual donors or donations. See, Bernie Sanders is saying 3.7 million donations, because I know I've donated 10, 20 times at this point. Very, very tiny amounts. Okay, but individual donations versus individual donors. I'm seeing it. I'd love to get that actual stat out of the Hillary number. What you say? There's no way 700,000 individual donors, because there's not that many super PACs.
Sure.
Really?
He could be there because 700,000 people gave her $1. Let's see.
Well, I don't know.
I'm sorry for her and sent her $1.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, reason I think. Yeah, okay, I'm watching this. What site has real-time stream of donations, John? Okay, that is not D. Jensen, that is not a real-time site of donations. That was a GIF. So what and somebody verified that. I was following that on Twitter. I'll show you that again. That's really cool. This is just a running GIF. What it was somebody working as an Act Blue admin, because you don't get this unless you're in the back end of Act Blue. So somebody working as an admin in Act Blue took this GIF, and you can't do a GIF very much longer than like 8-10 seconds anyway. So grab this really quick just to show how many freaking donations were scrolling through. So that went on until their server broke. Hillary didn't make any claims to that extent, although she probably has servers from NGP Van, which are, at least hackable, but maybe they're more robust. I don't know. Anyway, the good news is, and Scott, tell me when we can cut over to your article in a second here. This is what really happened, folks. Is that Hillary losing her base, has lost her base. And this guy, Robert Barasage, I'm gonna read. That's where I was going. I was going to read this statement from him. So we're going to look at this real quick. I had some great other cards here. Young voters abandon Hillary Clinton for Bernie Sanders. And this one, this is just a really quick one. This individual, Jeanette Sandernista, Jeanette, what is her last name? Jeanette Jing on Twitter, guys. I put the link in the rundown. But check this out. Check this out right down here. This was on her timeline. You do Goldman Sachs in a Twitter search and puts Hillary in the middle. Semantic search, folks. It knows what's relevant. Hillary Clinton is most relevant when doing that search for Goldman Sachs on Twitter. Kind of tells you something right there about the reality of things. And here, this is what we're going to read you. I want to read this Sanders victory. What this really means. This is badass. And then I want to hand it off to Scott. Let him talk about his article. But the bottom paragraph in here, the first two paragraphs really give you the details. And this is an article, like I said, this is on Common Dreams, Robert Barasage. The scope of Sanders' victory took all observers by surprise. He trounced Clinton by more than 20 percentage points. Almost every age group except for every income group except for what they're calling affluent, over 200 grand. Okay, but I'm going to skip all that. You guys can read all that yourselves. I want to read the bottom thing, the bottom paragraph. This is a stunning victory. Writing it off because Sanders comes from a neighboring state won't work. John Kerry beat Howard Dean, the former governor of Vermont, here in 2004. And New Hampshire has a long and special history with the Clintons, one that they invoked frequently over the last days. It saved Bill Clinton's candidacy in 1992 in the wake of the Jennifer Flowers revelations. It gave Hillary Clinton a stunning upset victory over Barack Obama in 2008, keeping her candidacy alive. If anything, New Hampshire is home base for the Clintons. So as we listen to mainstream media today, the establishment media play this off, and Barack Obama played this off as well. It's a long game, and Hillary's got Nevada, which they're already planning to lose. And then we've got South Carolina, which is why they're pounding the minority issue. But when Sanders takes all four of the first primaries as we head off into Super Tuesday, right, and then we've got the other two in between, it becomes clear that he's unstoppable. He is the electable candidate. He is the candidate that can beat Trump. He beats Trump better than Hillary. We've already seen that in the numbers. Scott, we're going to kick over to your article. Tell us, what did you think of last night? What does all this mean to you?
Well, one thing that you mentioned earlier was you keep seeing people say that Trump did better. But Bernie actually beat Trump by over 40,000 votes. And it was the same in Iowa, actually. Both Hillary and Bernie got 30,000 or so more votes than Ted Cruz. There were more Republicans in the race, so there were only, and it was only 10,000. There was only 10,000 more Republicans turned out in Iowa. So it's not this great interest in the Republican race like everybody thinks it is. There's as much interest in the Democratic race, and it's driven by Bernie. And in fact, Hillary, when she won New Hampshire in 2008, it was because of the white working class vote. Bernie dominated that vote in this race against her. He's actually building this. It was pointed out yesterday that he's building the same coalition that she built when she tried to beat Obama. And except she didn't have young people. Obama had young people.
Right.
And yeah, she won among women by 7 votes. 90% said that the economic system favors the rich. I think
Oh, go ahead.
I think it was around 2/3 want to replace Obamacare with single-payer health care in New Hampshire. That's got to be a big blow to her. Because her whole campaign against Bernie is that we can't get single-payer, and so we got to improve on Obamacare.
Which we have a video, which we have a user-submitted video that basically shows her flopping back and forth on that completely, right, on the single-payer, because we know she did. We have the record. That's the beautiful thing about the internet, right? Is we can see her history and what she's had to say about that. I want to read you this. Thank you for the article, and everybody. That article is in the reader. The RSN article is in. I dropped it in the. It's up at the top of the description there. But something I want to read you guys from the CNN article. Where they say that basically Hillary's lost her base. That the young are abandoning Hillary Clinton. This is in the CNN article, and it's just a little example of what we're talking about. The Iowa caucuses were days away, and Hillary Clinton's campaign had tapped In the Attic, which is some band, a band of young people, 4, 19, and 20-year-olds from Cedar Rapids, and they were in her audience. 2 days later, the band caucused for Bernie Sanders. Now, this gets even funnier, okay? Because I wonder how many other people are in the same boat here. We like Bernie, but we think Hillary is a solid candidate. Grant Blades, the band's 19-year-old frontman, told CNN in an interview in an effort to be diplomatic. Then, 20-year-old drummer Tanner Parks dropped it, saying, "Okay, we're supporting Bernie." Okay, this is happening all over America, folks. I don't know what encouraged them to cover up their true feelings there. Maybe some cash from the Hillary campaign. I'm just going to guess. But this is the truth, folks. And when you look at these numbers, even though Clinton shows 55% in the 65 and older group, Sanders is only 10 points down, and we've seen what we can do with a 10-point deficit. We've come back from a 30-point deficit. This is just misinformation to that group. And when Clinton says, "I've got some work to do with young people," you've got some work to do with young people, middle-aged people, older people. You've got a whole shitload of work to do, Hillary, because the majority of America doesn't believe anything come out of your mouth. That's the hard facts, folks. That's the truth. When you've got people that you're like, how much can we pay you to play a concert? I mean, if I were in a working band and I were 19 years old and a campaign came up to me and said, "Will you do a gig?" All right, honestly, truth out, I would not do it because of my morals and ethics. But then again, I'm 46 now. I don't know what the hell I'd say at 19 if I were looking for beer money. I'd probably be like, hell yeah, this is instant notoriety. We're going to play here. We're going to turn around and vote and do action for what we need. Thanks for the gig, Hillary. And maybe John Bon Jovi was the same way. Thanks for the gig.
She is doing well with people over 65.
Well, she is and she isn't. I wanna clarify there, particularly because, Scott, we have a bunch of those individuals in our audience today.
Oh, I understand. But she still wins that group by a lot, and it probably has a lot to do with the people who are still affected by the Red Scare.
So you think it really is?
Socialism is really bad.
You really think it is what Darcy's saying? The communism, Red Scare? They're just falling back on they're just.
They're gonna come after Bernie that way, especially the Republicans. They already do. They always say, and Bernie Sanders is doing well. He's a communist. They say that all the time already.
They do. Well, and we heard yesterday from Stefan in Germany, right? That expat hanging out over there is saying you've got Trump on one side, Sanders on the other side, communism, and I don't even know what they call Trump, totalitarianism, insaneism. But many over 65 rely on the media. That's it. That's exactly it, folks. That's that 24%. That 24% of Americans that still rely on mass media, mainstream media, establishment media. And she ain't got me at 68. Thank you, Dennis. Crowdfund for Bernie. Is that hashtag really going out? Is that an official? I don't think that's an official campaign thing, but that's awesome. If we
No, that was one I created. That was one I created
awesome.
last night.
It's a good one. But we've been doing that anyway. He's been doing that's what this is. We are crowdfunding for Bernie. That's
exactly. Hashtag crowdfund for Bernie. Hashtag donate to donate Bernie.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great. That makes me feel really, really pleased. Thank you.
Now, even though Donald Trump is part of the establishment, one of the stakeholders, a lot of his supporters think that they're sticking it to the establishment when they're voting for him.
Right.
But so it was definitely an anti-establishment vote on both sides and among independents.
Well, I'm gonna throw this out there too. Living in Texas for 36 years, I can tell you that a lot of those supporters are voting to support Trump's openness in displaying hatred and disdain for other groups and making it okay for them to be that way themselves out in public, which is disgusting in many respects. And that's again, we've talked about this before, but that's an area of our society that we should be very, very concerned about. Those people are angry too, but their anger is being misdirected because a lot of them are misinformed, going back to the propaganda that is being spewed by corporate media.
Yep, and I think we're heading towards a general election between Trump and Sanders, and I think Trump will battle for independence with Bernie, but Trump's not going to be able to unite his own party, and Bernie will be able to unite the Democratic Party, so I think that will give Bernie the leg up. Now, the only problem could be Bloomberg.
Why would that's a good time to bring up that. Why, and let me see if I can't pull everybody up in the shot here. Why the hell is Bloomberg an issue? Why would he even be an issue, man? Because I don't see, how could he possibly raise enough support? What does he do?
Well, he's going to spend $1 billion. And I was
okay. So wait. I'm going to interrupt you, Scott. So here's the deal. Bloomberg is going to come out to a really pissed off American public. Let's the word come out that he's willing to spend $1 billion of his own money to get elected. Is that not the antithesis? Not to mention arrogant and hubristic, but is that not the antithesis of what people are pissed off about? We are pissed off about the amount of money that they are using to influence our political lives that translate to the quality of our actual lives. He's out of his fucking mind in his own billionaire goddamn bubble. The people are not going to elect him. We have his record in New York City of stop and frisk. Please. This is not a man who's going to win. He's just going to piss away $1 billion. He must need a tax write-off.
But the problem is that he left the Republican Party while he was still mayor, saying the Republican Party left him, and so I think he's going to take more of the moderate Democrats than he'll take from the Republican Party. I can't see Republicans supporting him, especially with as much money as he spent trying to push gun control. I don't see the Republicans jumping to him, although I was happy David Gergen yesterday said if either Cruz or Trump are the nominee and Bloomberg gets in, he would vote for Bloomberg. So maybe he will get some of the moderate Republicans.
Don't you mean moderate Democrats? But to me, that is a Republican.
Gergen's a Republican.
Well, yeah. I have a hard time with that side of the aisle anymore at all. They make my flesh crawl.
But I was happy to hear him say that he wouldn't support Trump or Cruz over Bloomberg. So that means that they could pull some Republican vote.
Well, and if they pulled anything off the Democratic side, they're going to peel away from the Hillary camp. I mean,
well, Hillary, if it's Bernie, the nominee, Hillary's already out, and if he does pull some of Hillary supporters, that doesn't help in the general election. We're going to need the supporters to win the general election.
I think that you'll find that there's many Hillary supporters that are just as pissed off and would be more willing to go towards Bernie than they would Bloomberg.
And
unless they fall under the category of they're the Republican lights and they're the ones whose tax rates are going to be affected most. That's the only reason.
Well, that
would be the only reason.
What you said about spending $1 billion, Trump's already saying that he's going to spend his own money, and so it won't be in anybody's pocket. That's the same thing Bloomberg will say, is nobody can buy me.
Yeah, but here's the difference. It has nothing to do with, it's how they've gotten their money, how they've enhanced their own riches over the past 3.5 decades. They can't get away from that. They have benefited from every rigged law and every change in the tax code at both state and federal levels. Bernie can argue that one to them, and they can't refute it any more than Hillary is able to deal with her speech fees and her setting of those speech fees and her oops of, well, that's what they paid me. Again, they're in their own bubble, and they're missing the fact that the people are, onto them.
Yeah. Good discussion, guys. In the end, I think Bloomberg is not going to have the youth. He's not going to have the minority vote. Somebody was mentioning that he's the stop and frisk mayor, right? He can spend all of his own money. I think what we've seen, what all of these candidates need to recognize is it's not the spending of money that's going to win. I mean, Hillary Clinton keeps sending me these emails. Here's another one. Well, friend, last night's results in New Hampshire weren't what we'd hoped for. But we woke up this morning ready to fight. You sound great, Hillary. The other ones, all the other emails I was getting, well, we've been outspent, we've been outraised. Outspent, outraised, outspent, outraised. Trying to bring up the point that that's how Bernie Sanders isn't winning because we can raise infinite sums of money. We just do that for fun. We do that because he says, give me some money. We're like, all right. We're winning this because Bernie Sanders has the will of the people. Something the establishment can't get, something Bloomberg won't get. He'll get the will of some billionaires, the will of some other rich people, maybe some white people that are like, okay, he's a guy, I like him better than the other two people. All right. He's going to get some people, but there's no way he's going to get the will of the people. They don't understand it. This is a populist movement. It is the will of the people to change our democracy, to restore it to something that fits the people, works for the people. I just don't see anybody that comes in there to do that. I appreciate the analysis on that. I think
his thinking is that Trump and Bernie are the extremes of the political spectrum, and he's going to come down the middle.
That's ridiculous. So that's a great segue.
Arrogance and hubris of the elite class.
Well, exactly. And this is Robert Reich and what he has to say about that. All right, who's got the phone ringing? Here's Robert Reich. This is his article on Common Dreams. And I just want to read this bit to you. You will hear pundits analyze the New Hampshire primaries and conclude that political extremes are now gaining in American politics. That Democrats have moved to the left and Republicans have moved to the right, and the center will not hold. This is utter bullshit. This is why we have the past to look at, folks. We have the record on the internet to prove that statement is wrong. The truth is what the putative center is that the putative center where the Democratic Leadership Council and Bill Clinton's triangulation of the 1990s found refuge, where George W. Bush and his corporate buddies and neoconservative advisors held sway, and where Barack Obama's Treasury Department granted Wall Street banks huge bailouts but didn't rescue desperate homeowners, did a job on the rest of America, and it is now facing a reckoning. The center is facing a reckoning. The center is what Hillary represents. The center is what we've been sold for decades. Nobody is at the center anymore. We have an elitist extreme group running our government, and we have the will of the people, which is not extreme at all. The will of the people is simply what left should be. The extremes are not gaining ground. The anti-establishment ground forces of the American people are gaining. Some are so fed up they're following an authoritarian bigot. Others, more wisely, are signing up for a political revolution to take back America from the moneyed interests. That is the real choice that we face, folks. Any other division that establishment media tries to present is just a distraction, an attempt at rating, a way to divide us, a way to dissuade us from the purpose. We have to save our planet, folks. We have to save our planet. We have to do that with Bernie Sanders. It's a global initiative. Going back to comments here. Just reading some comments. How you guys doing? You guys have anything to say about that? What Robert Reich has to say as far as the middle not really being the middle and what everybody's claiming the middle is? We don't want the middle anymore. The middle as they present it is not middle. It's right. You know? It's not a middle when it's right. Let's we get to the Flint thing. I want to run a testimony right now, guys. This is a short 1-minute testimony from a gentleman named Fantastic Negrito. Wants you to vote for Bernie. I want to run this. I wanted to run this the other day. I'm just going to play this clip real quick. Because I like testimony from the 99.
My name is Fantastic Negrito. There's only one Fantastic Negrito in the world, and he's in New Hampshire supporting Bernie Sanders, the next president of the United States. He's the real deal. And that's why I came all the way from Oakland, California. I dropped everything that I was doing because we're at an interesting point in this country. It's like a crossroad. We're either going to go this way or that way. And Bernie is this way. We need to go this way. And they'll learn. But that's why I came. That's why I'm so excited to be part of this. It feels historic because nobody thought it could be done. See, I survived a 3-week coma. And they said I would never play again. It feels like that. It feels like they counted him out, and look, he's right here. So I love Bernie. Go all the way, Bernie, and anything I can do to support him, I will. And everybody, get out there and vote. That's the difference, man. Put all that stuff down that you're doing, games, TV shows, whatever, and go vote for Bernie Sanders.
That was better when you can hear me. That was actually, I didn't realize that was actually on the Bernie 2016 channel. That was on the official channel. I had no idea. There's a lot of stuff on there. You go to the Bernie 2016, not our channel, the official Bernie Sanders channel, and look at all of the video content they have there. They have some fantastic fun. All of the videos, the Killer Mike interviews are on there. Or I thought they were on there. And you get a link to them anyway, which I can't play. We got that weird copyright thing going on. Sorry about that. His name, Fantastic Negrito, Negrito, and that link is in the description. If you look at the description of this event, all of those links are in there. I try to drop that information. I miss every couple of days. Think big. Yes, think big. Bernie is about thinking big. What's the next thing we want to talk about here?
Ooh, John, this is kind of big. Pardon my interruption. I'm over on Twitter kind of following things.
Okay.
Apparently, writer Ta-Nehisi Coates says he's going to vote for Sanders.
Nice.
Wow.
That's a nice endorsement.
Thank you. That is a huge endorsement. Yes, very huge.
Looking at of course, they're talking New Hampshire GOP is what seems to be more important right now. We've got some new gifts. We've got some of these new memes that you guys have dropped for us. Some good stuff. The cover, of course, from Steph. I love this one. I have a feeling that the kitchen sink is coming soon as well. It's a great newsroom cover from Steph. What else did we have? There's a couple new ones that I saw. I try to grab your guys' memes, drop them in here whenever there's a new one comes out. And occasionally I remember to actually show them. This is a Remembering History Correctly from Jesse. Just little pieces of reality there. All right, and now I can't find them. I had a different one ready to go. Now I can't find it. Join us tomorrow. Jeff Young. He's a 6th district candidate for Kentucky, and Kentucky's a purple state. And we'll be talking with him on We the People. That's at 7 Eastern. Join us for that. It's an engagement broadcast, so we'll have a full conversation going on. We'll have comment mod. We'll be showing the overlays, not like with this show where I just kind of chat with you loosely here, looking at what you have to say. Al Sharpton, did he give an endorsement, or did he just talk with Bernie Sanders? We met with Bernie Sanders. Okay. We have all of the endorsements that happened in Arizona. There was a ton of people that endorsed in Arizona. We ran a piece of that video, and then there was an article that came out that I thought I had pulled up in reference, but now I can't find it. I don't know where it is.
The rest of Bernie's trip to New York he'll be on The View.
Oh, there we go.
And on Colbert.
He'll be on The View and on Colbert. I saw that earlier today. I don't know of any feeds that I'm going to have, folks, as far as stuff going on today. I don't know that we have any feeds coming in. But, yeah. Celeste, do you want to talk about your radiation thing today? Now? Or do we want to go into disability?
Going into Denise's disability story.
All right.
She's put in a lot of effort. I saw a little video that was put together for it, and I was really, really impressed. And I'm really looking forward to the show.
Excellent. So I haven't seen any of this, and honestly, I haven't read the article. I just pulled it up real quick. I was going to just do a little talk about it. Denise Silva is one of the volunteers in our Bernie 2016 TV. She is also a disabled human being, and she is an activist on that regard. She came to me and said she wanted to do a post. What's up, Celeste?
I believe Denise is in chat, and she could probably join the hangout and talk about this if you wanted her to.
If she wants to come in and do that, that would be great. Because
okay, I'll check.
I was just gonna get her in here. That'd be great.
Okay.
Denise,
you vamp. I'll check.
Okay. So what we're looking at here is a couple things. The 2016 conversation has been ignored. Has ignored disabled people. Now they want to be heard. All right. And this is. I haven't read the full article. Like I said, Denise can talk about it. One of the things I offer to different groups, to everybody. We're working with teachers group. We're working with Women for Bernie. We're working with a whole bunch of politicians. What we facilitate here is the ability to create a show, an engagement broadcast show about your issue. So I told Denise, I said, if you get a crew together, a crew that can, host, co-host, comment mod, people to learn how to do engagement broadcasting, put together your own show. I will produce. We will use the resources that we have here to bring your issues to the 99%, like we do with our other shows, like this and other shows. And so Denise said, great. And she found a crew, and they put together a first show, and they're getting ready to launch their Disability TV, which is what they want to call it. And I'm all for it. I've offered this to Native Americans. I've offered this to African Americans. I've offered this to every politician that we've come in contact with. I offer it to every group. The contingency is resources. You need the time and the people to be the crew to do this. And that's it. So Denise put together this article, and the question was brought up in Slack. I'm just going to prep this. The question was brought up in Slack. Where is Bernie on this? Why hasn't Bernie said anything about this bill? Where's Bernie's stance on that? And the answer was provided rather quickly. If you go to Bernie's website and look at the issues, he has a list of all of them, and that includes fighting for disability rights. Because Bernie understands that, like everybody in America, we've been marginalized for some reason, divided up, chopped up into groups, separated, and marginalized. Whether it's because you're poor, or you're a particular color, or a particular race, or you're disabled, or you're a radical. Our government has done a wonderful job for decades of segregating us all from the elite class. That includes disabled Americans, that includes poor Americans, unemployed Americans, black Americans, purple Americans, plaid Americans, gay Americans. It includes everybody that they were not interested in taking care of, that they wanted to marginalize. Everybody that required something of their investment into our government. We expected a return on investment from our tax dollar into our government. Disabled Americans have been pretty much fucked for a long time, decades. The measures we put in place are shit. And just one more group our government has chosen to say, whatever. So I'm excited about that happening, and it looks like Denise is coming in. So we'll get Denise to talk about that, which is fantastic. She knows a hell of a lot more about it than I do. But Bernie does have a page on his website, and it's BernieSanders.com/issues/fighting for disability rights. As soon as we have Denise in the Hangout and we have her audio, we will cut to that. Going to look at some of your comments here. What do you guys have to say? Let's take Nevada. That's going to be, I don't think Nevada is going to be a problem. The Clinton campaign is already planning to lose Nevada. They're already downplaying that. I think they're really going to force the race issue, and they're going to try to get South Carolina. But if Bernie takes all four for the first primaries, we head into Super Tuesday with that momentum, and that's all we need is that momentum, folks. All right, Denise is coming in again with a different account. Try this again.
Hey, John.
Yo.
While you're getting that set up, I can read a couple of the comments in the chat room right now. Ed Gatto Williams, the comment that he lives in a chair and that can be a challenge, but he will not be disabled. Robin Morris, we are kind of disabled here. She has MS and I'm her caregiver. I have some health issues. Robin is obviously talking about her significant other. There's a lot of comments about how the funding is for our brothers and sisters who are physically challenged, and it's abominable what's been done government-wise to our safety nets, and there are simply people who are just not going to be able to work, and there are people that have to care for those people. We have to be a community together and look out for each other. And that's all of us together. And that, that's one of the really cool things about Bernie is Bernie really is a uniter. I mean, look at all of us from all over the world joined together here in support of this candidate and his policies for our country.
Yep. Agreed. Got you in, Denise. Need you to unmute.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can. I've got a gerbil picture. Don't have your cam, but that's okay. You can be an iconic woman today.
I told her she could be an icon to get her on here, so yes.
Right.
It's my day off, and it's like 9:53 here, so I'm still kind of laying in bed watching you guys.
All right. Well, you can give us a quick, when you're ready to do the full show on this, or we can talk about it more, we will. But for now, why don't you just give us a quick discussion about what we're going to be talking about here and maybe your show.
This article just came out. A lot of the disabled people, they're trying to get a hashtag started. It's hashtag CRIP, C-R-I-P, the vote. And basically they're trying to get people to, all the politicians, to start talking about the disabled. The disabled is a large, giant population in America, and we are ignored, basically. Bernie's the only one that has even mentioned the word. We got really excited when he mentioned the disabled the other night. So that's basically what this article is about. Greg Baraton is mentioned in the article, and I'm trying to book him right now for the show.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So tell us, who is this guy?
Greg Baraton. He is a big disabled rights person, and he's trying to get the hashtag going. he's really been working hard to get all politicians, to talk about disability issues.
Okay. Well, yeah, I would love to have him on. Please extend my invitation, and we'll push the hashtag. What is it? Crypt the vote.
Crypt the vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crypt the vote. That's what I'm seeing going around, and I'm looking forward to having you on to talk about this more, either on the next rally or morning show when you're ready to become slightly less iconic. But I'm really absolutely glad that this is happening. I'm glad you found a crew. Because this is really what we need to do. This is how we bring these issues out. The point of this, folks, is to have a discussion. But we can have a discussion here about this, and our discussion builds information, volume, veracity, velocity around this subject matter. And folks like Denise, who have volunteered for us, she's done so much work. What you don't know, guys, is that Denise, many other people, they're working on their own shows and in the background, but they're also helping us every day find articles, do comment modding. Denise is always on the shows, helping us with other things, co-hosting, comment modding, working in chat. All the people that volunteer here, we're all just part of a big family. Got you in the audience, Denise. It's a beautiful thing. This is how we've worked together to change the election. And Denise is now going to bring us. We're going to amplify the voice with Denise and her crew around the conversation around disabled people. So thank you very much, Denise. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right, guys. Looking at chat here, hamster. They like the hamster. Name.
Can we mention the name of the show?
Yeah.
Disability TV. I have a video I've been kind of pushing out on Twitter. It's going to be our theme song. So I'm at Sweeps, SWEEPS, Deni, DENI, and I'll push it out again.
Well, yeah, drop it in the Hangout or drop it in live production, and I'll run it. I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's awesome, and we'll get her Twitter handle dropped in the comments too, as well, folks. Thank you so much, Denise.
Thank you so much, Don.
Absolutely. Listen, folks, I have missed so much information. I have to go back and scroll through the hashtag BTV Live today. Yesterday was just ridiculous, insane. I was pretty much out of my mind by the time we finished last night. As you can tell, I was a little, I was not doing well with transitions between things. Thank you guys for saving me last night in that. It was a really tiring day, but we stayed up. And yeah, thank you, 3,000. Thank you, J Vintage 1970. This would be the 5th time we've reached 3,000 subscribers, so I'm very excited about that. I used to get all excited about that, and then I realized that if you get happy, it is wonderful. It's a good thing, but I really do expect this channel to get shut down soon for TOS 4H. So that's just what's going to happen. It's one of the ways that YouTube hobbles our effort to bring the truth to the 99 is by constantly shutting us down without cause, without provocation, just doing it. No recourse. It's but yeah, it's you guys. Thank you for being here. All 3,000 plus of you. And yeah, we can make a show about anything. We can make a show about anything, folks. We just need the people. And I'm limited in time and resources until that magical investor drops out of the sky and says, let's build this thing big. Right? Which is still the goal, to reach that magical investor. Elon Musk would be great. Anybody out there in independent TV, that's what we're looking for. Otherwise, we sit here and we have a good time. And what we do is the point here is to promote Bernie Sanders so that he wins the election. Never forget that what we're doing here, there's lots of people providing news. What we're doing here is functioning as a catalyst for the revolution. We amplify news and voice about Bernie Sanders. We create memes. We push them out. We do all this activity online. That's our point. But in all of that, we are secondary, tertiary to the real cause, the real effort, which is boots on the ground, winning those elections in each state, the primaries, the caucuses in each state, That is the effort. We are air support. We are the USO. And so I never want you to think for any minute that when I talk about looking for investors or how are we going to do this, that, or the other thing, or, we need to grow or blah, when I whine about any of that stuff, it's just me being a human being. The important thing is that we all work together to get Bernie Sanders elected, no matter what we do. So I just want to make that very clear.
Hey, John?
Yes.
That'd be a good point to segue. Denise has dropped a link in live production for her video.
Great.
And I think everybody will really enjoy watching her efforts. And
uh-oh, you froze. Are we going to lose Celeste? Celeste froze, folks. Hopefully she'll come back.
Steph, yeah, my system just froze up on me.
See that? Yeah, we got your audio though, but I do have that. You gave me enough time to pull it up.
Cool. I seem to be like Anna. There we go.
Oh yeah, you're buffering all over the place. All right, guys. Here's the video from Denise Silva. This is Disability TV Tune, and we'll hear how it goes.
To the crowd, time to jump to back. God feeling that this could be. Won't say boy, I've been free, Oh, thought I had be something I'm not. Just to get the things I don't really want. Why do it feel we got this way? Life's with it, ain't no real play. I'm ready, be who I am, and I'm ready. I'm ready to live free. I'm ready, ready. Being a talking shit, they know which way to go down so many roads. You go your way, I go mine. They'll come together some other time. I'm ready, be who I am. I'm ready, come back again. I'm ready to live free. I'm ready, just to be me.
That was badass. That's Jesus. I had no idea. Denise, that's badass. That's incredible. That's awesome. That deserves that's an F-bomb worthy. That's fucking badass. That what we just watched there. I don't know how long you've had that in there, Denise. I'm sorry I've been too busy to actually watch it. Thank you for dropping that in. So yeah, that's gonna be a show, folks. That's gonna be a show, an engagement broadcast show. Denise has got episode 1 ready. I think you're working on episode 2. And yeah, this is what we'll do. That's incredible work. That's beautiful. That was wonderful. Video and graphics by Steph? Really? Steph, you working with her? Look at you guys doing all that shit in the background. I can't even keep track. We've been so busy with this. This is the beauty of the 99. Who came in? Who can talk about this? Anybody? Denise, you're still there? You want to say anything else?
I'm here.
Yeah.
That was. I just want to say Hal wrote that song especially for us. Recorded it just for us.
Wow.
I didn't know him. He was a stranger on Twitter. I met him through Bernie, and just awesome. And Steph worked so hard on the video. So yeah, kudos to all.
That's amazing. That is the beauty of the 99, folks. That is. Give me 1 second. Can't ever leave the door to the TARDIS open. That's what makes this entire thing so beautiful. Want to change your country? Want to put together a broadcast? Want to work together with people? It's happening. Bernie has showed us that all we have to do is get together for a common cause and get to work. We don't have to be divided like establishment media said. Denise just reached out. Let's do a show. I need a tune. We'll do a tune. Okay. Bernie says, help me. Let's change our democracy together. Okay. I have no doubt in my mind that when he is elected, now my voice out of sync again. I hate that. I have no doubt in my mind that once Bernie is elected, all of these issues are going to be things we can deal with because he's made it very clear that he cannot do this alone. He cannot do this with just us. He actually needs us in office. He's made a call to the people to run for office. Denise, I think you should run for office up there in Seattle. People, and this is funny, people have asked Janine to run for office. People have told me I should be everything from local city council to a senator to a congressperson, which I think would be really funny. I'd be like the most foul-mouthed congressperson. But somebody needs to wake those people up there. Somebody needs to bring some foul-mouthed passion besides Bernie Sanders, who really doesn't go foul-mouthed. But, I would do it. That's the thing. This is the thing, folks. I was never interested in working at any level in our government because I thought it was a piece of shit that was corrupt and couldn't be fixed. I was like, why would I want to go work in that corrupt cesspool? But now we have a guy who's going to help us with the American Spring Cleaning to clean out our government and work together. We want to bring disability issues to the forefront of the American people. Well, then we run for government office where we can write legislation that really accomplishes what we want. And we have other politicians that realize that legislation doesn't need to be packed with all this other bullshit for the military-industrial complex, or for this lobbyist, or that fucking group. I want to write legislation for disabled human beings that is just about that. No extra money in anybody's pockets like they do now. No deals on the side. Well, if we do this, we're going to cut some money out of this program, or we're going to take some money out of here, or we're going to build some more missiles. Because that's what they do. They stick these extra bullshit pieces. Well, if we help disabled people with this, we're going to build 10 million new submarines because we just need them. This is how our government works now. We need to run for office so that we are the politicians making these changes. People like Jeff Young, Terrence Strait, they're running for office. Jesse Smith, Alex Law, maybe Denise Silva, who knows? They're running for office because they know they need to depose the establishment politicians that don't give a shit about disabled people, about anybody, really. They've made that very clear. Flint is an example. Ohio lead water is an example. Radiation leaking out all over our ground is an example. 54% of our government budget spent on war. 27 cents out of every dollar you send to our federal government goes to war. Okay. This is the only way we stop that, folks, is by making change. Denise and her group and this beautiful video here are an example of the kind of effort Americans are willing to put in to help make that change. So when establishment media says, well, they're not going to rise, or this is going to happen, or they're not capable of making this change, we've already proven them wrong. We've already proven them wrong. So congratulations, America. Congratulations, 99%. You've proven yourselves capable of shaping your government in any direction you want. Now let's fix all of the issues by running for office, taking over those 435 seats available, that third of Senate, getting in there, doing the work we've wanted to get done for years. Thank you, Denise, for making this. I can't wait to do the show. What's our schedule? What are we going to do? Do you know?
I'm hoping to get Greg on the first episode, so we're looking at the third week of February, I think.
Wonderful.
Which is what, 2 weeks from now? I don't know.
So I guess we better get to work.
Yeah. We're working hard.
And and guys, to understand what makes this so, well, I won't say so easy, but what makes this different is that we use a Google Hangout to facilitate the production environment. So Denise can have a live production crew that is from anywhere around the world, really. And so, Denise is in Seattle, I'm in Portland, Janine's in Rhode Island. Who else is on your crew, Denise? Who else is working with you on this?
Erg is going to be doing a little piece for me, so he's going to be part of our group, and Celeste, and I'm trying to think of all the people. Nigel has expressed interest, so yeah.
Awesome. That's fantastic. This is so cool. This people from around the world. I'm reading some comments here about all this. Congress supposed to be kept. As long as your opposition doesn't point out the hacking of satellite video, you can win. Listen, I'm honored, guys. I would run for government. I would if I had nothing else to do. But what I really want to do, I don't want to run for office. I think there's lots of great, capable people that can do that. And what I want to do is I want to run the branch of government that doesn't exist. I want to transform the Federal Communications, the FCC. I want to turn that into an actual broadcast network, the Global Engagement Network, for the people. I want to build this out, and I want to run it. I want to provide news, unbiased news, and information to the American public that is government-run, people-funded, that facilitates this kind of conversation. These units are very inexpensive to build. You could put one in every school. You could put one in every politician's office. You could put one, What I want to do is run the Global Engagement Network for the government so we can facilitate real-time conversation between our politicians and us for the act for democracy, so that we can continue to keep an active role in our democracy through our smartphones, through our laptops. That's what I want to do. I want to run that agency. I want to put news and information about our government, about our world, about us, into a government-run news agency. I'm sure that's going to scare the fuck out of all of the establishment people, and I'm sure that scares the fuck out of everybody that screams socialist and communist. But the point of it is that it will not be in the hands of corporations. It will be in the hands of government that is run by the people, because we have chosen to run for office and be in there. So remember that all of this stuff is predicated on the idea that we replace corrupt politicians with true politicians, Bernie-crats, and that we start to flush out the corrupt individuals throughout all the rest of government, because we have a lot of corruption to deal with. We have a lot of corrupt businesses like Halliburton that should be tried for crimes against humanity. People like Dick Cheney who should be in prison. We have a lot of that kind of shit to clean up, right? and find all the corruption that's leaked down into the lower levels of our government, our justice system, judges, cops, chiefs of police, other people that are on the take and have been on the take for a long time. We're going to cut off that money supply. We're going to piss off that whole underground organization of our corrupt government. And that's the only way we're going to be able to do any of these other things. A government-run news agency that is designed to facilitate active participation in your democracy by providing you with news, updates, information, polling information, engagement broadcasting like this, or the politicians, everybody that we've done We the People with. All of the politicians we've had on We the People have agreed to be a part of this experiment. They've agreed to do engagement broadcast with us. They've agreed to, we are working with other individuals to tap directly into government data so we know when they're having sessions, when they're voting on things, what they're voting on. Right? We have all of that data that we can transfer back and forth. This is all being worked on, folks. I'm not making this shit up. This is all happening. What we need to do is have the information. This is where it breaks down. This is why I want to create the government news agency, is because the Global Engagement Network. We cannot rely on establishment media. We cannot rely on entertainment news. Now, this is an important point. I'm gonna go on. I know you guys are saying a lot of things, and we're talking about this, but I want to go off on at a very important point. That because of the laws, because of their own statements, because of the repealing of the Fair Use Doctrine in 1986 by the Reagan administration, because of the implementation of the Telecommunications Act in 1996, because of legalities around DMCA and copyright infringement on YouTube and what the copyrighted political content is, establishment media, and this is all in legal documents, just look at all the legal documents ever arguing with fair use, ever arguing that something that happened on establishment news, their news stations, we're talking primetime news. If you want to sway that 24%, we need to find these legal documents. When they argue their case in court, when somebody says, you lied on TV about this, they say, but we can, because we are not news. We have not been news since 1986. We are entertainment news. And every legal document calls it entertainment news. Well, our government application for democracy, our real-time connection with our government officials, if we're going to take an active role in our democracy, if we're going to be educated and informed as an electorate and know what the hell's going on with the issues, then we need to get unbiased, true information. And we cannot get that if the information coming from establishment news is marked as entertainment news. I will not accept that in the government. So the government needs to create a news agency run by the people, supported by the people, owned by the people, because that's what a government agency is, folks. Social Security, you own it. You bought it. You own it. All the social programs that we have, you own it. Belongs to you. It's not something we give to the government where the government's going to control. We control it. We control that. So I want a news agency that provides unbiased actual news. Because right now what we have are 6 major media corporations that provide entertainment news, and they've been providing entertainment political news, fucking up our democracy since 1986. So, I think legally I have a great case. I think when you present it that way to actual Bernie-crats in the government, we'll make this. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do for the government. Bernie Sanders, I will do anything you ask of me. I really would. I would do anything that man asks of me. Sweep my floor, take my kids for a while, get whatever you want me to do. I don't, what do you want me to do, Bernie? I am yours. I will do anything you ask, but I would like to create this government agency so that we can have truth in news. Because I think we need to have it. All right, I ran off. The quotes are out of sync. I don't know what to do about the freaking audio out of sync, guys. It's in sync 1 minute, out of sync the next. I think all of my machines need an update. We need real news. We do. With inherent transparency. Yep, exactly. That's what this is. And listen, there are people out there watching right now Some of you I have tried to respond to, but you guys have I can't remember your name. I want to say Megan. I'm so sorry. Listen, there are people sending me notes, massive notes. Hannah, I saw your note. I tried to respond to you. Lauren, I got your note. Kyle, I got your note. Rupert, I got your note. Melissa, it was Melissa. Melissa Cody, I've gotten your notes. I'm not ignoring you. There's just a lot of words. And you sent me all these documents, and yes, agreed. And I think it's wonderful, and we will get together and talk about it. There's so much information and people sending stuff now. It's beautiful, and I will get back to you today. We are reshaping things. We are rebuilding our nation the way we want it to be. We have the technology. We can get it done. It's almost like the $6 Million Man. Remember that? We have the technology. We can get it done. All right. I kept going on. What are you guys saying about that? What do I think about that? Most TV news is opinion laced with facts and fantasy, truth, and spin. Exactly. Yeah. But here's the thing, though. The idea of the Global Engagement Network wasn't just about news. The Global Engagement Network was going to have a channel for humanity with programs on it like Native Life, which we used to have, with programs on it like We the People, the Newsroom. The idea was to use engagement broadcasting, this system, to facilitate any kind of a show because it's inexpensive and because it utilizes a virtual production environment and streams to YouTube or wherever you want it to. High school kids, junior high kids, college kids, you can have your own newsroom, your own station anywhere. It's inexpensive, it utilizes the net, and it facilitates real-time conversation. My goal was to build these things for everybody so that everybody could be talking and discussing the news in a truthful, real-time way. That was the goal of this, was to take the discussion of information in a broadcast medium out of the hands of corporate media so we could broadcast it. What's up, Scott? You come back in? Who came back in? Somebody came back in.
Yeah, I walked back in. Man.
Oh, nice to have you. I've been rambling for a long time. Sorry, guys. I'm just looking at some of the notes. It is 10:22. Thank you all for being here. Scott, you said you're going to be, where is it, tomorrow?
Yep, tomorrow in Milwaukee.
Tomorrow, debate, Milwaukee. We're going to do it. We may actually have it to broadcast. Scott's going to be there. Ryan's going to be there. A lot of things are going down. Big thank you to LiveView. LiveView is helping us out, providing gear. You guys crowdfunded that gear, and we're using it. I can't tell you when, most often, but we're using it, believe it or not. It's part of the war. We are using it. We thank you, LiveView, a lot. Simcat says she's meeting the mayor of Sterling Heights, Michigan tomorrow to tell him about this information. Sweet! Wonderful! You guys are so great. Awesome. Okay. What else? Any other news that we need to talk about, Scott? Anything else going on in the political spectrum we need to talk about? Hot stuff? Anything? Yes? No? No?
Not that I know. I think there's a stream tonight, right?
Is there? Of what? What's going on? I don't know.
The Women for Bernie, the Nina Turner stream. Somebody said that in Slack.
Really? Okay. Well, that's
to be streaming the Women for Bernie event.
Yes, Cynthiana posted in the Slack. I know what Scott's talking about, but I couldn't find it right now if I needed to save my life. But we can hunt it down. So there is something going on this evening. Check back with us.
Good. That's what I needed to know, folks. So apparently we will have a stream tonight at some point. Women for Bernie, Nina Turner. That would be fantastic. I'd love to cover that. Join us. I'll put up a stream as soon as I'll put up an event as soon as I know that it's going on. Watch what we have going on in Twitter. Haven't got any more updates from the campaign as far as what we're pushing. Anybody seen any new updates on a new hashtag or what we should be pushing as far as the social media goes, folks?
No, there'll probably be some news out of the Clinton campaign. They're not having any public events today, so they're in the office shouting at each other more than likely.
Right. There's been some articles saying that the Clinton campaign is assessing things, and there was one that said there was a shake-up and they were going to get rid of people, and Hillary was quick to say, "Oh no, we love all our people. We're just wondering why we sucked." That's all.
But you said that before it was a 22-point loss, I think.
So is that what it was? A 22-point loss in the end? Was that that was a trouncing, folks. That was a trouncing, and the numbers show what?
It was the biggest margin ever in a New Hampshire in a contested New Hampshire primary.
Wow, biggest margin ever, folks. That's pretty huge. That's pretty huge. Thank you for being with us. I would like Bernie TV 24. Listen, I would like to do this 24/7 too, Anna. I would love to do this 24/7 too. We kind of tried that. Here's the problem: it sits in my house, and it's run by me, and I sleep, and I don't have the facilities to get it to run. It wouldn't even run. There's so many issues with running it 24/7. It's crazy. The goal was to have a channel for humanity, politicalrevolution.tv, a music channel. Listen, you guys don't even know. In the very beginning, Janine and I, all we really wanted to do was get Bernie Sanders elected, and then go off and do a new version of MTV the way we liked it, with engagement broadcasting, where we were doing political music, independent music by the 99, but having an engagement broadcast discussion around it. I want to be a VJ when I grow up. When we're done getting Bernie Sanders in office and all this done, I want to be a VJ, folks. That's what I want to do in my spare time after we build the Global Engagement Network. But yeah, now it's 7:24.
I want to VJ to the oldies.
Yeah,
I want to VJ the oldies.
Exactly. Okay, you could do that. Listen, you know where I sit, folks. The 80s have returned. The band Big Data. It's a freaking big 80s band. I love this stuff coming out. It's wonderful. We're going to go out, though, with a Killer Mike tune that I know I can play. Actually, this is Run the Jewels. And it's Reagan. This is what happened, folks. Listen to the words. Listen to the words that he says. I mean, I grew up in this era. Celeste and Scott were in this era. They saw it. The Just Say No, the campaigns, there was so much bullshit, so many lies, but it was covered up so beautifully. It was just whitewashed so beautifully. Our government was engaged in drug trafficking. Our government was engaged in selling weapons for hostages. Our government was engaged in selling weapons to two sides of a conflict. Ronald Reagan lied under oath, but then used "I didn't recall" or "can't recall" to basically get out of it. Our government in the 80s was really fucking bad, and
he probably couldn't remember.
He probably could. You know what, Scott? You're right. My dad says that to me. He says, "Give Reagan a break." By the time he was saying those statements, he probably was very much in Alzheimer's affected the man. But this is Killer Mike's Reagan. Listen to the words, and if you grew up in the era, there's so many references in the animation that just remind me of that time of my life. It's pretty awesome. We will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here.
First time I got arrested was with the Berrigans in front of the White House with the Iran-Contra-Gate verdict and impeach Reagan banner.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow, you were holding an impeach Reagan banner. Celeste, what were you doing? Do you remember?
Sorry, I was just getting ready to type "bitchin' Scott" into the chat. What was I doing? I was sitting in an office trying to convince the Republicans I worked around what an asshole Reagan was and what his policies were going to do to the country. I was talking to myself, in other words. I was out in the streets in activism-wise during that period of time in the early 80s, doing animal rights stuff.
Wow, nice. Scott was protesting in front of the White House. Celeste was doing activist stuff, talking to the air because it was Republicans anyway. I'm guessing you were in Texas.
Texas, yeah.
And I was 19 at the time he quotes in this video, 1989, and I was shit out of my mind, long-haired stoner, didn't really care about much. But this was what was going on back then. This was our world. We're changing that, folks. Feel the burn, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow or later today.
Our government has a firm policy not to capitulate to terrorist demands. That no concessions policy remains in force. In spite of the wildly speculative and false stories about arms for hostages and alleged ransom payments, we did not, repeat, did not trade weapons or anything else for hostages. More rudely,
The habit of the bullet is to feed them us some bullshit. Will we ever do it bigger? Just keep settling for the shit. We brag on having bread, but none of us are bakers. We all talk having greens, but none of us on acres. And none of us on acres, and none of us grow wheat. Then who will feed our people when our people need to eat? So many things our people solve from lack of understanding. Cause all we seem to give them is some ballin' and some dancing. As we talking about our car and imaginary mansions, we should be indicted for bullshit we inciting. Having children deaf and pretending it's exciting. We are advertisements for agony and pain. Exploit the youth, we tell them to join the gang. We tell them dope stories, introduce them to the gang. Just like all of us North introduced us to cocaine in the 80s when them bricks came on military planes.
a few months ago, I told the American people I did not trade arms for hostages. My heart and my best intentions still tell me that's true, but the facts and the evidence tell me it is not.
The end of the Reagan era. I'm like Lemma 12er, old enough to understand the shit had changed forever. They declared the war on drugs, like a war on terror. But what it really did was let the police terrorize whoever. But mostly black boys, cause they would call us niggas and lay us on our belly while they fingers on their triggers. They push was on our head, they dogs was on our crotches, and they would beat us up if we had diamonds on our watches. And they would take our drugs and monies as they pick our pockets. I guess that's the privilege of policing for the profit. And thanks to Reaganomics, prison turned to profit. Cause free labor's the cornerstone of U.S. economics. The slavery was abolished unless you are in prison. You think I ambush it and then read the 13th Amendment. Involuntary servitude and slavery get prohibited. That's why they giving drug offenders time and double digits. Ronald Reagan was an actor, not at all a factor. Just an employee of the country's real master. Just like the Bushes, Clinton and Obama, just another talking head telling lies on teleprompter. If you don't believe the theory, then argue with this logic. Why did Reagan and Obama both go after Gaddafi and laid in sovereign soil, going after oil, taking countries to the hobby, paid for by the oil lobby, same as in Iraq and Afghanistan. And Ahmadinejad say they coming for Iran. They only love the rich and how they load the poor. If I say any more, they might be at my door. Who the fuck is that? Staring in my window, doing that surveillance on Mr. Michael Render. I'm dropping off the grid before they pump the lid. I leave you with a word. I'm glad Reagan dead. Ronald Wilson.